Name a yellow fruit.
Orange.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic the Hedgehog reread podcast for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, as usual, joined by my comrades Lauren and Bruce. And guys, today we're talking about the old Sonic the Hedgehog manga series from Japan that never got localized and that we only have a few chapters of.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the start of a pattern for this show, which is that Sonic manga are the most obscure and difficult Sonic properties to find. They are the least informed and with the most, missing info, and they are the worst documented and preserved things in this series, other than maybe, old toys and merchandise. I think there are at least 7 different manga runs in the 90s, ranging from 6 to 12 chapters each?
7?
I think, yeah, because
Jesus,
there were 6 Shogakukan published manga,
right?
One for each grade of school, and then I think one more for the specials, unless the specials are just reprints of the other grades.
Alright.
Exactly what the differences are, I have no idea. The manga themselves, if they really do have 12 chapters each, we are missing so many chapters of these that we're barely scraping by with the 10 or so that we've got.
Right.
Yeah.
But these tend to be not the densest of stories, so we're gonna go ahead and hope that it's not a huge problem.
That's the only thing we can do.
But try.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna be starting with the second grade manga, Shogaku Ninensei, which is by, I think, Morimoto Sango. And there's, again, it's like the wiki says there's something like 15 chapters of this. We have a whole 3 chapters, and we're missing chapters 2 through 4.
That's why Charmy just appears out of nowhere. Okay.
No, I think that's still his first appearance, but
okay then. Well, never
yeah,
mind.
so, we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's start with chapter 1. When his friend Amy is kidnapped by the bully Anton Veruca, a boy named Nicky taps into a speedy power called Sonic the Hedgehog to save her.
Sonic is supposed to be like a superhero or like superpower.
I guess he's just like the Shazam alter ego to this nerd boy named
Yes,
Nicky.
okay. That is a very good way of describing it. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting ahead maybe, but in a later chapter they definitely ramp up Sonic like there's some sort of legendary hero.
Right.
In ways that are questionable in how much sense they make, but yeah, for right now, we just have Nicky and Amy, and it's, this is technically the first instance of Amy in any Sonic material ever, because this is before Sonic CD.
Does she originate from this, then?
I believe so, yeah.
That is
Interesting.
I never realized that. I
Yeah,
guess
because this is from 1991.
I was confused because I'm like, Sonic is blue, that's right, but Amy is brown. That's because I guess they changed it later.
Huh.
Yeah.
So my first actual reaction in reading this is I can't believe I went from Sonic Underground having a creepy character right into this having another creepy character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this reptilian bully, I don't even know what species he's supposed to be.
They just say lizard.
Yeah, he stealing Sonic's girlfriend over and over is his entire life. That's all he cares about.
Gotta have your priorities somewhere, I guess.
He's not very deep, is he? He's kind of a
No.
Bowser figure, I guess.
He's like self-proclaimed #1 punk or something.
How
And that's
dare
about
you
it.
slander Bowser like that, Devin?
I said,
True, but Bowser has much more.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So it's funny because I before I actually read these, I heard people say, oh, in the old manga, Sonic was the alter ego to a boy named Nicky, and I was like, that's kind of an interesting idea, that Sonic is sort of a alternative that this boy turns to be a hero. But then I
Right.
read it, and it's literally a split personality, and it's like, oh, that's stupid. I don't like that.
Yeah. And it seems weird to make Sonic this kind of, like...
Well, he's a non-entity, is what it is.
Yeah, Sonic might as well not exist for as much as the plot is concerned. Well, excuse me, plot in quotation marks.
Yeah,
Bit of
it's the
plot
same
later,
problem that I have with the old American backstory, where the goodness of Sonic or the evilness of Robotnik are not things that I want to be attributed to changes in state or form. I want it to be
Yeah.
something core to their personalities.
Well, to be fair, I guess in like the Sonic Bible, it's a combination of their goodness and the power of the Chaos Emeralds. So I mean, I think that does make sense because that's part of their personalities. In this case, it's literally just a mental illness.
Huh.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Not literally.
Yeah, not literally. Because something that's weird is, yeah, it's a split personality, sort of, but it actually seems like something that was somehow bestowed upon Nikki, because later it's revealed that Sonic exists separate from them, at least in one instance. So
yes.
Yeah, that's a weird
extra strange.
You know, I was telling a friend of the family a while back about the fact that we were doing this show, and they said, "Oh, I'll check it out sometime." And I said, "Ha, sure." And then I didn't realize, oh god, I swear like a sailor on this program. And that's going to be weird for this, family friend of ours who I'm not sure I've ever sworn in front of. So it's very funny to then have these very good fan translations have Sonic and Anton, tell each other to fuck off, which is like, wow, okay, that's definitely not in the original.
So two things. It's funny you called him Antoine because I kept reading it as Antoine. And also, yeah, this really vibes of mid to late 90s anime and manga translations. Like old Dragon Ball translations were like that, where fan
That's
subs
the obvious one.
Yeah, well, like Anime Labs would put in some really gnarly swearing, like Vegeta dropping an actual homophobic slur.
Candy S, yeah.
Let me bring up, so on the first page at the top, Sonic has like some sort of life motto. They're like, don't just sit there and waste your precious time. When you want to do something, do it right away. Do it when you can. It's the only way you can live a life without regrets.
That,
like,
I believe, is on
Sonic.
the box art to, I think, Sonic 1, the Japanese box, I think?
Really? I was wondering where that came from, because
Maybe it's Sonic CD.
It seems something very random to have there.
Yeah, no, but that's a recurring, very old Sonic mantra.
Interesting. I had not heard it until now.
Yeah, so I'll say the art in these they're a little scuffed, but generally pretty good, especially compared to a lot of the Western showings of the time.
Yeah, the special and the Gonensei ones I think look pretty good. The Ninensei ones, one of my notes is literally that they almost look like a second grader drew them.
Yeah,
that's a little.
Ninensei is very rough.
Yeah, the Ninensei ones are
I wouldn't say it's
pretty
that bad.
rough.
I think it's that it's the inks are a bit messy.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Well, because everything's very angular or not everything, like specifically Sonic is, and kind of makes him look like an asshole.
Yeah, he does look like very like he's going to be mean to you. He looks like the Sonic who could call you a slur.
He does.
Yeah. So that was one of my notes. Is when Nikki first transforms, Sonic is like laughing, and I'm like, is Sonic evil? Is this evil laughter?
That specific panel, the way Sonic is drawn and the way his laugh is like portrayed, it looks like he's about to like walk up to you and shank you in a back alley.
Yeah.
Well, and he near does that because I mean, Anton is a bully, but Sonic. You're gonna see he does not hold back against him.
He does not.
He swings like a chain at Sonic, and Sonic like dodges and headbutts him and beats him very easily.
Are we moving on to the Can I start talking about the other chapters then, rather than just the first one?
I mean,
the only thing I have is that he captures Amy, but then after Sonic beats him, we never see her again.
Oh yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, no, she just disappears after they start fighting. Anyway, so
Sonic isn't concerned about girls.
I suppose not. Only Nikki is. I think
Amy is in the crowd, maybe, in the second one. I don't know. I have to double check.
I don't know. So yeah, the second chapter, which I think is actually chapter 5. After Sonic beats Anton in a boxing match, Nikki's dad overhears their conversation and tells his children about his own experience with the blue blur.
So, writing off that Sonic being cruel, there one of my favorite lines is here when Anton is like, "It is rather cowardly to strike someone unable to move. Wouldn't you agree, Sonic?" And Sonic is like, "I do, but if it's you, then it's a different story," and attacks him.
Yeah, and he's coming at Sonic with spiked boxing gloves. It's a Sonic 3 prototype. I don't think that's true, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know this manga was the source for, so you never know.
I'm just, my mind is still blown by the fact that it seems like Amy came from this comic.
That is pretty insane.
Yeah, and so Sonic punches Anton out of his pants and into a tree branch.
You know, a classic cartoon and anime thing.
But we learned that this is all a story being told to Nikki about himself, which, you know, nobody knows it's him, including himself. And he's now blue, he's not brown anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And this is told by Sonic's sister. This is not Amy, this girl is named Tanya?
Yes.
Sometimes it's written as Anita, which is, I don't know why the inconsistency, but I do think it's funny that his sister is named Tanya, because it's like, we have Manic, and we have Sonia, and we have Sonic, and we have Tanya, and then we have Sonic Mania. I guess this is just the naming scheme for Sonic and siblings.
I guess.
So
So this is the chapter, though, where, I think, because this is where Nikki's dad tells them the story, right?
yes.
Yeah, his name's
Okay,
Paulie.
so, yeah, this is when, it's, like, shown that Sonic is actually some, like, mystical, legendary hero.
He's like
because
a guardian
apparently-
angel or something.
Yeah, apparently they showed up when Paulie was going to crash their plane and just help them pilot it to safety, which is weird because that was in the past, which means it's before Nikki first transforms in the first chapter, so that's where I get
Yeah, because it's before he met the mom, so...
So, and they don't explain how that works, at least in these chapters. They might actually, yeah, okay, now that I think about it, they probably explain it some other time. Maybe.
So is
I don't know.
transforming into Sonic like a form of demonic possession?
He does seem like a bit of a demon.
He does always look like he's about to stomp on your sandcastle, so...
Yeah.
We do get a tease of Dr. Eggman at the end, which is good.
I love that. I honestly, I read the first two chapters, not even thinking about Eggman, and then suddenly Eggman at the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to see what he's like in this.
I'm wondering if they just forgot to color in his mustache, or if his mustache is actually white in this continuity.
Well, we see a little bit of him in Chapter 6 here, so...
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, these Ninense comics were so memorable.
Chapter 6. Paulie and Nikki find themselves under attack from Dr. Eggman and need the help of Sonic and Charmy Bee to escape. Charmy Bee?
Yeah, Charmy B.
Looking
And-
nothing like himself.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I've seen this design for Charmy before, and I've been trying to remember all day.
It's
I
possible you
cannot
were just
figure
browsing
out.
the wiki at some point.
Maybe, or like, I might have just seen it, happened to see it online, but I feel like, I don't know. It's been bugging me all day, and I haven't come up with an answer yet, so I'm guessing
Maybe you
your
were
answer
thinking
is
of A Link to the
probably wrong.
Past because he's green with pink hair?
No, I definitely saw this and knew it was Charmy.
Well, he does say, I'm Charmy Bee, right when he first appears, so...
Well, to be fair, I saw it elsewhere in association with Charmy.
I assumed so. I'm being a bit of a bitch. So yeah, Paulie's job is airmail, and we've got a biplane before the tornado, and yeah.
Damn, that's a sure downgrade from his previous plane, which looks like an F-104 Starfighter.
It looks like a rocket ship at the start.
Yeah, which is what the Starfighter looks like.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fucking cool plane.
So, it seems in this continuity, Charmy is even more of a menace, because instead of charging into people unstoppably, being an absolute god of destruction, they become a god of time, because they have a machine that can control time. What?
Yeah,
That's
I
kind
thought it was like a music box?
Looks like a treasure chest.
Those two things already look kind of similar, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen plenty of music boxes that look like treasure chests, and if not, whatever.
Yeah, so Eggman in this, his goal is, like, solely focused on Sonic, I guess?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that comes up definitely in the other manga, but
Yeah.
yes, that is the case in this one. Well, actually, in the cliffhanger, don't they say they're after the power of Sonic anyway? So yeah, that's consistent.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just not
that's
clear
true.
why, and I don't know. I guess he's willing to try and drown a child for it, so it doesn't really matter.
It's fine. Robotnik doesn't know how old Sonic is.
Yeah,
He's
but
still
it ends on a
ridiculous.
cliffhanger where they gotta get saved and they gotta fight Eggman, and then there is no next chapter. So whatever was gonna happen.
Eggman's a
Oh,
bit of
wow.
a manlet.
Man,
Yeah, he's very short and stubby in this continuity.
There's
yeah.
a specific panel of him, like with the one where he's standing in front of the robot holding Polly and Nikki, and he reminds me of Captain Underpants.
Oh, I haven't thought about that series in years.
I literally had just thought about it.
I was actually just thinking that Eggman looks even more like an egg in this, which I
He
like.
does. The later, the other two comics, he really looks like an egg.
Well, it's because they draw him without a neck, or without a distinction between his head and his body. I guess he never has a neck, but
He doesn't have a neck.
most Sonic characters don't. Alright, but so moving on to our second item of tonight, which is still manga, but the Corocoro Special Comics, I believe, come between some grade and, like, the 5th grade comics, because they don't have Tails in them, and Tails appears in the 5th grade ones, so that's our metric.
Alrighty then.
So these are a little bit longer, they're a little bit more plotted out, and they're all in black and white. They're not in color like the other ones, but they also have a different artist, which is Tanaka Koichi, I believe. So number 1 here. When Sonic humiliates him in a pizza shop, Anton Veruca makes an alliance with the evil Dr. Eggman to mess with Nikki and Amy. I guess the story of this one is just that they're going to get pizza.
The story I can get behind.
Tanya appears, like, right at
Great
the start of this story, looking out the window at Egg Police Officer. They call him Dogman until he reveals himself to be Eggman.
Yeah, I want to know where the name Dogman comes from. Like, why?
I don't know if it's a
strange.
pun in Japanese. I don't know.
I can't think of it being a pun, but that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, but Tanya's here at the start of the story, and then the moment that they set out to go to the pizza place, she's gone, so I guess they just didn't take her with them.
You know, she's not as important.
Yeah.
But
She'll be fine.
yeah, I really do like, though, that in this, from here on, Eggman is also a police officer, because I use that persona sometimes. And there's something very funny about Eggman trying to be a friendly police officer, although not exactly.
I mean, he's got to have a day job.
I thought it was just for trickiness, but
I mean, yeah,
I
would've
hadn't
seen
thought about it as a source of income. That's actually even better.
that's a lot funnier.
Listen, I've got to make a point of it to ask where Eggman secures his funding from for most continuities.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
it is a very valid question.
Yeah, I praise Adventure Sonic the Hedgehog of all things for that. So, yeah, I'll give points for that.
And
I'm
Sonic
not
Underground
outright
has a bit of
stating,
that. And then
Like,
the
and
games...
to be fair, Sad AM doesn't really need to go into it because he's literally the dictator of the majority of the planet.
I get that.
Yeah, so they... Nikki and Amy, they go to get pizza, and Antoine just drives his car inside and fires car exhaust all over it.
I think he drives by the window, actually.
I guess. That's a very low-set window.
Yeah,
Or a very lifted car.
Or a pizza
But,
place
yeah.
built on a very steep hill.
there's another great moment when Nikki is like getting furious about the ruined pizza, and he's like to Anton, "Just you watch me as I place a new order."
I know, he's pathetic.
It's amazing.
I like the ways that he is pathetic. He's,
It's good to show the difference between Nikki and Sonic.
True.
Yeah, because when Sonic shows up, that guy, he wants to make heads roll.
He
Because,
really does.
like, okay, so we start out with Sonic swiping the pizza out of Antoine's hands and making him bite his own fingers. Which, I've seen that in, plenty of cartoons. I don't know how that's supposed to work, because
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it
if
doesn't.
pulling something out of someone's hand makes them bite their fingers, then they would have bit their fingers anyway.
Yeah.
But that's far from the worst, because Sonic mushes Antoine into a pile of pizza and bakes him in the oven and then throws him in a lake.
Yeah, Sonic might as well have just killed that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cartoon logic and all that, but yeah, totally that would kill him.
Yeah, with how hot pizza ovens get, like a casual 800 or 900 degrees, because you're only throwing the pizza in there for a couple minutes.
Right.
Well, it's like there's plenty of
That's gonna
cartoon
kill you.
violence in this series, but that's
Oh,
like
sure.
a more specific kind. Because like even in the Archie comics, like they didn't beat Eggman with a shuffle or something.
Yeah. No mercy for this guy. Eggman doesn't get it nearly as bad, actually, in this series.
To be honest, he really doesn't. Also,
But
I'd like to point out Anton's complete design change.
Oh yeah, he goes from like a lizard-looking guy to like a very round, sort of soft-edged, still a lizard, but he looks different.
He looks like a lizard, more in line with early Sonic designs.
I guess I don't like it as much.
I don't like it as much either, but he's got the connected eyes, the weird like muzzle. He doesn't have as much of a pointed out muzzle as well.
Yeah.
It's more in line, but makes him less, I guess, intimidating. He wasn't really intimidating in the first place, but
Yeah, well, and he certainly isn't, as he's gonna keep getting shit on by Sonic for the remainder of this series.
because Sonic is just a Chad for some reason.
Yeah, which means that it's like he's a jerk, but it's not a surprise that he then decides to form an alliance with Eggman.
Yeah, it's not that surprising.
Yeah, so Eggman shows up and announces their plan, which, first of all, let me just say, I absolutely love the gag where something that you don't assume actually happens in universe does, as the robots show up to, play trumpets and be like, it's Dr. Eggman, and then he's like, idiots! You're drawing too much attention! And I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, this definitely has a feel for the differences between Japanese and Western humor in their comics, because that's not something that you would ever see in an Archie comic, even in a good one.
Yeah, I guess not.
That's like a thing in Dragon Ball too, is that you have characters shouting at the medium of comics at many points.
Right.
But
Eggman's plan is just to make Sonic his minion, which is really strange.
yeah, I think... Is it a later one where he wants him to power a machine or something like that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Alright, well, I probably took a note on it, I don't know. I'll say what's funny about all this is that Amy starts, having fantasies about Sonic because she loves Sonic. That's her entire character at this point, after all this. But it's like, that gets into some metaphysical stuff because she is explicitly Nikki's girlfriend. So
Yes.
if she's Nikki's girlfriend, but Nikki is also sometimes Sonic, is he cucking himself?
No, because
No.
Nikki is not actually Sonic, as I discussed earlier.
I guess.
Yeah, remember,
here's
Sonic
the
is
thing,
something
here's the
that
thing.
runs in the family.
But here's the thing, Nikki specifically transforms into Sonic when he says, like, I wish I felt more grown up or something like that.
Right.
So it's like, is that something that if he knew about it, he'd be able to use it at will?
I don't know.
Well, so it seems like it's something that only activates when he's also in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So, yeah, Anton gets up to his usual crap with Amy, but Sonic shows up and, punches him into the skybox. He does a Team Rocket little bling in the sky. And the show is stolen, thankfully, by Eggman, who shows up and makes Sonic fight a big chicken robot.
I love silly Eggman robots that make no sense. You just make a regular robot. No. It has to be a chicken robot that shoots eggs.
You goddamn right it does.
I'll say there isn't much of a fight. Sonic beats it very quickly.
Yeah, because Sonic's really overpowered.
Well, initially, they do get trapped in an egg, though, which leads to a great sequence where Eggman's like, welcome to cooking hell, which I don't know if that's a very accurate translation, but I love it. And they have a recipe for the kids on how to make a boiled egg. Something very simple. It's great.
Yeah. Well, it's like this was before Hell's
For at
Kitchen
least
had
an
started
hour.
airing, so...
I like, though, that the recipe says you have to cook the egg for at least an hour.
Yeah, maybe if you want it to explode.
Well, no, it's because he's cooking a giant egg.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Well, how many kids are gonna have access to ostrich eggs?
Hey, you never know.
Those probably don't even take an hour to cook. I don't know if you can eat ostrich eggs. For those who don't live out in the country, this is what a horse egg looks like.
Oh, alright, yep, sous vide and ostrich egg.
Anyway, so, yeah, when Sonic beats Eggman, it makes eggs rain from the sky.
That's pretty good.
Free eggs for life.
Well, I assume it doesn't happen forever.
Hey, you know, just occasionally it's cloudy with a chance of eggs.
Yeah, there's even a weather announcement beforehand.
That's true, there
saying as
was.
much.
Alright, Chapter 2. Dr. Eggman manipulates Nikki into competing against Antoine in the Iron Man skateboard and swimming competition in hopes of the dangers bringing out Sonic's personality.
Yeah, somehow Eggman is able to figure out there's a connection, although he doesn't actually know that Nikki and Sonic are, like, the same.
Yeah, it's
Right,
amazing
yeah,
that nobody sees him transform.
I'm impressed by the fact that it took so long for anyone to figure out there was a connection between Nikki and Sonic.
Yeah, because it's not like a
It's that
superhero
300
costume
IQ that
change where
Eggman
they
has.
just,
True.
get good at finding places alone. It just happens.
Right, it's like a poof, and then suddenly, oh, by the way, I'm Sonic now.
Yeah.
Yeah, happenstance always somehow hides it.
Yeah.
So we talked about, I'm just thinking about, how Eggman was a cop in the first comic. And here we have Anton, like, destroying public property by driving through the movie screen with his car. And it's like, you'd think, like, well, where are the authorities? And now I'm thinking, well, if Eggman is the authority, then I guess he's not taking care of this because he doesn't actually care.
Yeah, no, that's 100%
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, he kidnaps Amy again, as friggin' usual. And even though I think it's tired and dumb, I do like that Nikki is so pathetic that when his girlfriend gets kidnapped, the best he can do is say, "Can I come too?"
Yeah, that's pretty good. Although I don't know that I like this. There are multiple plots actually where it's like, oh well, I've got to prove myself to be like the best boyfriend for Amy. With a contest. I don't. That's kind of
Well, I don't mind having to prove yourself good enough for a girl. What I do mind is that Amy, well, I mean, we can talk about, feminist readings of things and women being prizes to be won or whatever. That's certainly going to come up, but I would say that the bigger problem for me is that Amy arbitrarily proclaims that she'll date whichever guy wins the race, even though she hates Anton.
And she's already dating Nikki.
yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck, Amy?
Yeah, I guess the entrance of Sonic onto the scene of her love life has shaken her faith so much in her old boyfriend that she'll apparently go for a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
At least Paulie is here to give Nikki a pep talk.
Yeah, he's a good dad.
He is. I'd still like to question why this hedgehog land has an air force.
Well, they just have like a bunch of stuff. I mean, I was surprised that they have actual police officers. So
They're at war with the Echidna
makes
Land.
not much sense.
I mean, shit, it looks like they may not actually have actual police officers.
Well, they have Dog Man, which I assume he's an actual police officer, not just posing as one.
To be fair, every time, at least twice when he shows up, he's as a cop. And I feel like this time he shows up, he's like extra round. But he also looks a bit like a walrus.
So yeah,
He
when he
is the
shows up,
walrus.
I have to mention, that they do the same thing again, but a little different, and I still love it. Where Eggman is like, "Ah ha ha! It is actually
Yeah.
me," and then the robots behind him have like cannons to like celebrate his entrance, but then they shoot him. And he's like, "What are you trying to do? Kill me?"
It's good. I do like the eventual race itself because Nikki basically just by consequence of errors or comedy of errors almost wins the whole thing by accident without ever turning into Sonic, and I thought that would be a hilarious punchline given the whole scheme was to get Sonic to show up.
Sonic doesn't show up. They could make him, I guess, show up after the race.
Yeah, he shows up
if
as
he
soon as
still
they
had to
win.
be in the comic.
He shows up to
Yeah, that would
collect
be
the
good.
prize money. He spends it all on chili dogs, of course. But yeah, Sonic gets ahead in the race just by running really fast underwater. So Eggman attacks again with another food-themed robot.
Yeah, are they trying to make a fat Eggman joke? Like
I don't
all
know.
the robots are food-based?
Generally, Japanese Eggman, they're a little bit nicer to him about his weight than American stuff. I think they
okay.
just... I think it's just that, like, oh, well, we did eggs last time, now we gotta do something else wacky.
I guess, yeah.
But,
I
it's...
don't have it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's beaten just as easily, and Sonic turns back into Nikki just before hitting the finish line.
Yep.
And this is really, it's like, I've had fun with these chapters, because they are cute. I like the art generally is pretty, polished.
Yeah.
But it's like, this already feels like it's settling into a formula.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, entirely.
And that continues into number 3 here. At the Hedgehog Carnival, Nikki and Anton compete for Amy's affection in a music competition.
Yeah, this one was very much just, it feels exactly like the last one.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't even have very much on here. Nikki sucks at the violin. Oh yeah, we do get Sonic playing a guitar shaped like his own head, so, is that an underground, Did that take from this? I can't imagine it did, but, you know.
No, probably not. My only note is the lighters that are actually Eggman robots look funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eggman attacks with a burrowing echidna robot, which has nothing to do with Knuckles, so I guess it's just a coincidence.
I guess so. I kind of wished it was Knuckles.
Yeah, I think he just was made for Sonic 3, so...
Fair.
But we can move on to greener pastures with number 4 here. Nikki and Amy's mushroom hunting session is interrupted, first by a mysterious fox, then by Anton, then by UFO-like objects spreading strange spores that turn people into mushrooms.
It says the greatest panel I've ever seen in a manga in it.
This is a pretty better chapter, I think, because, well, Tails is here.
Yeah.
Starts off as kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's acting like an edgy teen. He's standoffish, wearing sunglasses.
And it's funny, but also weird.
Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh because I'm just the last thing I expected from Tails. Honestly, it's not like him in anything else I've seen. It's amazing.
I mean, it seems like he's trying to be cool in case Sonic shows up.
Well,
yeah,
I guess so.
His shtick is the same, where he's still following Sonic around and looking up to him as like a brother. But it's very weird then, since Sonic is an ethereal being, not a physical one.
Well,
Sonic's
but that's
spirit.
not known. I think they assume that they're an actual person.
I guess? But how do you even follow him around if he disappears? Whatever.
He's on the search for him.
Yeah, Tails is looking, just like Amy wishes she could.
Yeah, I suppose. Tails can romance Sonic better than Amy.
Anyway, I would like to bring attention to Tails, like, unhinging his jaw to consume this massive mushroom.
That is
Incredible.
the funniest panel of any of these mangas. Tails saying, "Fine, I'll try a little bit," and poking the mushroom with a fork, and then just shoving the entire thing down his gullet. It's incredible.
Tails is amazing at this.
Yeah, so we do get a nice break with the formula where Anton shows up to do his usual shit and drive off with Amy, but Tails has the car from the See You Next Game screen in Sonic CD, and he chases after him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
Tails gets a cool car.
I did not expect that to be referenced, and it makes me wonder which of these came first, because I'm not sure when this was published. I'd have to look it up. But it's like, did they draw that car in the game because of the comic, or did they draw that car in the comic because of the game?
That's a good question.
But yeah, but all the Anton stuff gets sidelined because Eggman is in a UFO turning people into mushrooms.
That is one hell of a power, by the way.
Well,
Yes.
This isn't exactly anything even I'm not trying to take this very seriously. I appreciate the lore that you brought up, but it obviously does not beg
Well, no, of course not, but it's like just the ability to start turning people into mushrooms. That is one hell of an ability, or not ability, I guess technology, or maybe it's just magic. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
I like that when Eggman is introduced, they're as a shadow.
Oh yeah,
But the shadow is just like a round black egg with two white eyes, and I'm like, they truly are Eggman when that's their silhouette.
also
Yeah.
the shape of his mustache changed again. It's like more fluffy looking.
They really were just working on different designs for this guy.
I love how round he is still. I can't get over it.
He's a little bit Kirby-ish. He gives off some of that same energy.
He is a little Kirby-ish.
Where you just feel like, oh, I am indeed looking at the perfect being.
Kirby is the ultimate life form.
True.
Yeah, so, they have the usual fight Eggman stuff, but we end off with Eggman stuck at the top of a tree. Anton's still stuck as a mushroom. They didn't take him, they didn't fix him. And
Right.
Nikki and Amy just, I guess, take a rest on the grass. And then the other mushrooms there shoot up from the ground and reveal themselves to be alien spaceships.
Yeah, that's pretty random.
Yeah, and then they make some reference to this being Earth.
I guess where else could it be as of right now? There's no
Fair
Mobius
enough.
in the Japanese version, so...
Yeah, I know. At the end of the day, it's like, what other planet are they going to call it?
Yeah, so this is definitely one of the better chapters, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it was a fun chapter.
Yeah, and I guess they had to quit while they were ahead, because maybe there were more Corocoro Special Comics. The friggin' the ending blurb implies there's more, but I don't know if that's without Sonic. I don't know. But we only have these 4, so what other adventures could they get up to? Who knows? Not us. Maybe not even Sega. I don't know if they have any of these preserved.
I sure hope they do.
Yeah. But we're going to be moving on to Shogaku Gonensei, the 5th grade comics, which are mostly the same as the specials, but shorter.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so Chapter 1, which is literally just, while out on a picnic, Nikki, Tails, and Amy are attacked by Eggman.
Yeah. So
Yeah?
I couldn't help but notice. Yeah, it's much the same. Although I'm not sure if all the characters look more detailed, but Eggman, it looks really different in this one. Looks a lot more like in the games.
Yeah, they start drawing him a lot more like his Genesis self.
Yeah,
And
honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was actually sad to see the game design. I missed the egg-like design.
Yeah, he's no longer the ultimate life form.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I suppose.
Also, Mechanical Flowers. Finally reading the Archie comics. And, like, the first issue of the actual run, I think, have
Yeah.
Mechanical Flowers.
The
So that was
coincidence.
interesting.
I think it's a coincidence, but it is funny. And
Oh, I'm
What-
sure it's a coincidence, but it's still interesting.
and what's funnier is Eggman showing up, I want to say dressed like a tree. It's a mech that is a tree, but he looks like he's, ready to say his one line for the Wizard of Oz play.
Yeah.
But since Sonic is ethereal and Nikki sucks and Amy is very passive, Tails is the one who actually plays the hero for most of this.
And then he gets captured.
Of course.
I like Tails just punctuates being captured with just the word crud.
Yeah. Which that would have been the point to add a swear word translator. So you're off your game.
I have a feeling that these were all translated by different groups, but
That's probably true.
which is why only the Ninensei, of course, the ones for second graders, has the swearing in it.
Yep.
Hey, 2nd grade was when I learned the F word and I got sent to the principal's office.
I mean, I think I was probably 2nd or 3rd grade as well.
But yeah, Chapter 2. With Tails in serious trouble and Amy sure to follow, Nikki needs to muster up the courage to act fast and save his friends.
Wait. We missed the bit where at the end of the first chapter, Amy almost figures out that Nikki and Sonic are the same, but then they don't follow up on that.
Isn't that this chapter?
I
Wait.
thought that was the 3rd chapter.
No, because the 3rd chapter is just the 4 comas.
Oh, right. Wait.
Oh wait. So
Yeah, it is the second
main
chapter.
plot. I'm mixing up my chapters, I guess.
Right, 'cause
Yeah.
Nikki hurt his knee, and Amy, since he's such a little bitch, Amy had to deal with it, and
My
Yeah,
brain
and then
just
at the
looked
end
up
of this
the one
chapter, she
chapter.
sees the bandage on Sonic and is like, oh!
she
Okay.
almost puts 2 and 2 together. And I'm assuming if this had been continued, or if
Well,
it
it
is
was
continued,
continued, but we have no idea what happened, and that's like, oh,
Also,
could
do
this
we know
actually be
full
going
well
somewhere?
What we
Who
have
knows?
as Chapter 3 is the actual Chapter 3.
No.
Okay, so for all we know, that could be like Chapter 9, and this is Chapter 4.
Who the hell knows? I don't know. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
the problem
problem.
is that we've made a pledge to cover Sonic material, and we are doing it, and these are
Alright.
fun. There is fun to be had
as
here,
much as we can.
but since this stuff is not in a consumable state for us, it's like
Right. I mean, it's in enough of a consumable state we can make our own stupid headcanon.
I
But
suppose so.
but the point still stands is like there's clearly continuity here that we're not getting because only part of it's translated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate because some of these are fun enough I had enough fun reading that I'm like, I kind of want to read more.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only other note for this chapter is that I do like that Amy is like headstrong and is actually going to rescue Tails herself, and Nikki is so pathetic. He's like, no, I just want to leave. But she's like, no,
Yeah.
you dumb bitch, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, Nikki is just like, I'll just ditch that fox.
Yeah, what a jerk. He doesn't deserve to be Sonic.
I mean...
He's not Sonic, technically.
I know.
Sonic is a curse that just goes between the family.
Yeah, curse. Right. Because it curses you by making you awesome when you're Sonic and pathetic when you're not.
Right. Well, hold on though. So we were theorizing that his father was also Sonic, but his father was not pathetic. He was trying not to crash.
Yeah, no, the curse is that you get to be Sonic the Hedgehog, but you have to deal with being Sonic the Hedgehog.
Fair enough. I do like the idea, though, that Nikki is just the only pathetic one in his entire family. Everyone else is like Uncle Chuck, and they're all like Giga Chads.
That boy ain't right.
Well, approaching. No one can be quite like Uncle Chuck, but yeah.
Well, Uncle Chuck is the true Giga Chad. Everyone else is various levels of Chadhood.
I'll take that, yes.
But I hope you didn't want to learn what actually happened next, because chapters 3 and 4 are both 4-panel comics.
It's a shame, because I do like 4 comas, but, like, suddenly throwing them in here...
It's a bit of a pace killer.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, now they're like comic strips.
Best part is, I read these and I don't even remember reading these. It says a lot about them.
Yeah, I always like the 4 comas at the end of the Full Metal Alchemist manga, and at the end of...
Yeah, those are fun.
When I used to collect the Zelda manga, only a couple of them had them, I think.
But those were fun as well. And that's the thing, though. It's like, 4 comas are fun, but not when a manga suddenly turns into a 4 coma. If it's always a 4 coma, or it's like
just a little
bonus
extra,
stuff at the end of the chapters or the volumes. It's like, okay, that's cool. But or like something that the creator posts on like Twitter,
which is what this is technically. It's just with our pacing, this is what we're stuck with.
Right. We're seeing this as if it's its own chapter. When I'm assuming this was just thrown at the end of like a Corocoro issue.
Yeah.
So, and I guess at that point, okay, that's fine. But they're also kind of mediocre 4 coma.
Yeah,
they're okay. I mean, I like the first one where Tanya is held hostage by Eggman, and she's kind of controlling and unamused about being a hostage, which reminds me of the Sonic OVA.
That is kind of fun.
And at the end, Sonic saves her, and she's like, "Ha, that was fun. I want to do it again."
That was like the only time we've actually seen Tanya do anything.
Yeah. And then the second one is just the Adventures of Sonic episode Robo Olympics, but as a manga.
Right.
I'll say the robot designs in this comic are funky. They're more cartoony, and they're probably closer to like Badnik designs, but more than anything, they do remind me of classic Mega Man enemies.
Yes,
especially
I was
the big
say that.
eyes.
Yes, they're very Mega Man-esque, which is strange and kind of seems out of place for Sonic.
Not especially, since Sonic and Mega Man are already similar, but...
That's true. It just... The way the Badniks... Because the Badniks are all supposed to be animal-based.
Yeah, whereas these guys are just kind of robo-dudes, and they have voices and personalities.
Right. So...
You're right, this is Robo Olympics, because the Badniks are just kind of people.
They're just dudes.
Yep.
Robotnik just found some dudes and roboticized them.
Oh boy.
There's no roboticization in Japan.
That does seem like something that should just be a standard piece of, like, Sonic lore.
I mean, yes, but it's like, that's something, you gotta commit to it, is the thing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It does not
I feel like it could work.
In the regular games canon, but...
I guess not, but I feel like it could work still in something in the other continuities.
You could make it work in almost anything. It's just that I do think that they like to be able to just take hard turns into whatever they feel like, and having a world where this is a consistent element that you have to worry about makes it more difficult.
I don't know.
I still like it, but yeah. Anyway,
it's a cool idea.
That's all the manga we have.
Yay!
Whoa.
It
We actually managed
it was
to squeeze
manga.
about an hour out of this, so...
I'm impressed. I'm also kind of disappointed by this manga, but I don't feel like it's fair to be disappointed because we really didn't read all of it. We only read what we could.
Right.
Well, I have to imagine that no matter how much of this manga we have, it never turns into a generation-spanning saga of rising
Of course.
tension and wars or whatever.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course. I don't expect this to turn into something like the Archie comics.
I would say it's cute enough for what it is, but I do wish that it was available in some form.
It's clearly made for kids, which is not a bad thing.
And I think that the idea of Sonic originally being Nicky is an interesting one, but not in the way that this comic did it. I think that if Sonic was a personality that Nicky took up on purpose after, you know, whatever event, he decided, I am no longer Nicky, I am now the hero guy or whatever.
Right.
That would be something...
Like Shazam. Well, not like Shazam, but like an actual superhero identity.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to compare Sonic to anybody, it's probably like Spider-Man is the most obvious choice.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to give Sonic trauma, is the thing.
It doesn't need to be trauma. It could just simply be, like, he's tired of seeing Robotnik attacking the weak or whatever. And he's like, I want to fight back. It doesn't have to be specifically like Sonic's little brother was killed in the massacre or whatever.
Or maybe it doesn't even have to do with fighting. Maybe it's not an altruistic thing. Maybe it's just like, I am bored of conventional life. I wish to go be a nomadic fast guy.
That's totally an option as well, and it's an option that could potentially be interesting, more so than this is. I got none.
It was pretty fun. I enjoyed reading through it, but there's just not a whole lot there.
Yeah, there's nothing horribly bad about it. It's fun enough to watch, not to read. But, and again, maybe it's just because we don't have much of it.
I'm willing to bet that it's probably just for, you know, light entertainment the whole way through either way. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying like, oh, I'm sure it turns into something incredible later on. I'm sure it doesn't. These were made for elementary schoolers.
Yeah.
These kids can barely count to 10.
But that's officially the most obscure piece of Sonic material we've covered on this show so far.
Is there anything more obscure?
I'll get back to you on that one.
All right, then.
But next time on Deep Dive Zone, we are going to be covering something less obscure that is still a manga, actually. But there is a comic adaptation of Sonic 1 that was promotional for the game. I don't know if it was released with the game, but you can certainly get it, and we'll be talking about that next time.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're also going to talk about this weird French comic I found in a dumpster. It has Knuckles, but a girl. And that's going to be it for tonight. So if you enjoyed, feel free to share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can always reach us at deepdivezonepod@gmail.com or at deepdivezone on Twitter. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.